Hello, third graders. This is Mr. Tutor. Certainly miss all you guys and can't wait to see all of you again back at Eastside, roaming the hallways and sitting in our classrooms and having a good time. Hopefully when we get back with all of this during the month of May, we're going to make some wonderful memories, do lots of STEM activities, and have a great time to end the year. Today I want to read the first couple of chapters of a book to you. It's A to Z Mysteries, The Jaguar's Jewel. These were some of my daughter's favorite books when she was little. She collected all of them and read all of them. But we're going to read a couple of these to you while we're out of school. So I'll start with Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Dink spread the note on his knees and read it out loud. Dear Nephew Donnie, I am so happy that you're coming to visit. You and your friends are going to love New York City. I will meet your train at 4 o'clock on Friday at Grand Central Station. Love, Uncle Warren. Josh giggled. He calls you Donnie. Yeah, Dink said, blushing. But if you ever do, I'll tell all the kids at school your middle name is Carol. But my middle name isn't Carol, Josh said. Dink flashed an evil grin. So? Guys, I think we're there, Ruth Rose said. The train slowed. Suddenly the bright sunny day vanished. Everything outside the train windows turned black. Hey, what happened? Josh cried. Dink laughed. We're in a tunnel, Josh said. Don't worry, Ruth Rose, and I will protect you. The train slowed even more, then stopped. New York, Grand Central Station, the conductor called. Last stop, all passengers off. The kids grabbed their backpacks and followed the other passengers to the door. Watch your step, the conductor said. He helped the kids hop onto the platform. They found themselves standing in a concrete tunnel. The dust and soot coming from under the train made Dink sneeze. Where did we go? Josh asked. My uncle said he'd meet us here, Dink said. Maybe we should just wait here. All around them, people were hurrying along the platform. Dink stood on tiptoe. He couldn't see his uncle anywhere. Is that him? Ruth Rose asked. She pointed to a man in a gray suit. He was pushing toward them through the crowd. Dink jumped up and down and waved. Uncle Warren, here we are. Uncle Warren Duncan had white hair and a big smile. He carried an umbrella and wore a red carnation in his lapel. His eyeglasses twinkled in the underground lights. Donnie, welcome, he said, beaming at the kids. How was your train ride? Are you hungry? We're fine, Dink said. The train was great, and Mom packed sandwiches for us. Splendid. Dink's uncle gave him a big hug. And whom do we have here? He asked, peering through his round glasses. So there's Uncle Warren at the train station. Josh and Ruth Rose, Dink said, my best friends. Marvelous, Uncle Warren said, shaking their hands. Now let's find a cab. Follow me. Uncle Warren marched up a long ramp with the kids right behind him. A moment later, they entered the biggest room Dink had ever seen. Hundreds of people bustled in every direction. A deep voice announcing train arrivals and departures echoed over a loudspeaker. Piles of luggage were heaped around the gleaming marble floor. Try as he might, Dink couldn't take it all in. Uncle Warren said, this is Grand Central Station's main terminal. Look up. The kids tipped their heads back and looked up and up. Gold-painted stars and animals danced across the emerald green ceiling. This is awesome, Josh said. Look, there's a bull and a goat. Taurus and Capricorn, the zodiac signs, dear boy, Uncle Warren explained. Now onward. Uncle Warren marched them toward the exit. The kids followed him out the building. The street outside Grand Central Station was a shock to Dink. His ears were blasted by horns honking, brakes squealing, music blaring, and food vendors shouting. Welcome to the Big Apple, Uncle Warren said. There you can see some of the pictures. The hot dog cart in the big city. Have any of you ever been to New York City? He waved his umbrella and whistled. A yellow cab zoomed up and screeched to a halt inches from Uncle Warren's shiny black shoes. Uncle Warren yanked open the rear door. In, youngsters, in, he cried. They had barely sat down and shut the door when the cab lurched back into traffic. Where to? The driver asked over her shoulder. Number 340 West 110th Street, Uncle Warren said. He turned to the kids. We'll stop at the museum first, he said. I'm expecting a shipment from South America. Dink sat up as the driver zigzagged her way up a wide avenue. With his nose to the glass, Dink watched thousands of cars, taxis, buses, bikes, and people dodge one another. Even through the closed taxi window, he could feel the throbbing pulse of the huge city. 20 minutes later, the cab hurried to a stop in front of a building made of white marble. "Here we are," the driver said. Uncle Warren handed her a few bills. "Keep the change, please." "Thanks, mister," the driver said, smiling into her rearview mirror. Uncle Warren and the kids piled out of the taxi. "This is where I work," Uncle Warren said. He pointed to a small brass sign next to a green door. The sign said the Porter Museum. Dink noticed that it was a lot quieter here. Trees stood in front of the buildings, and a few kids were drawing chalk pictures on the sidewalk. From a window across the street came the sound of someone playing a piano. Suddenly, he heard a voice call out, "Warren? Hello?" Dink saw a smiling man and a woman standing in front of a small restaurant next to the museum. Behind them, a sign above a wide window read Le Petit Bistro. "Come, my friends," Uncle Warren said, heading toward the couple. He introduced the kids. "And this is Jean-Paul and his wife Yvonne," Uncle Warren said. Uncle Warren pointed to the sign. "These lovely people own the best French restaurant in New York." "Hello," the man and woman said, smiling. "Nice to meet you," the kids all said together. Yvonne turned to Uncle Warren. "It came," she said, "a big heavy box. 4 men carried it upstairs to your office." Jean-Paul reached into his pocket. "I went up with them, then locked the door when they left," he said, dropping a key on a brass ring into Uncle Warren's hand. "What's in the box?" Dink asked. Uncle Warren winked. "Nothing much," he said, "only priceless gold." And there they are, meeting him at the French restaurant. That's the end of chapter 1.